What's that?
You won't get no video.
Oh, no.
We're putting the,
We gotta do something different.
Well, just handle it under planning board, right?
Only because Ann wants to hear us, we
approve.
can do that.
Fee schedule.
Most of the time, we don't even have to do it
Oh,
anymore.
Oh, really? Oh, because there's no
Planning
COVID.
board person.
It's
Oh,
not a
okay.
requirement. You're
Not anymore.
You can do it on the planning board report, doesn't matter.
Doesn't hurt to do it.
Recommendation, is that kind of, they recommend?
Well,
I'd
It's
rather
like-
we're gonna-
Yeah.
I'd rather see it.
Yeah, appoint,
You would?
not approve, appoint. Thank you.
Encouraging them to have them match.
Yeah, they don't talk about it.
You get a lot of people tuning in?
Sometimes.
Do you have it?
RSV.
Does it show you?
It's not COVID, it's
Some reviews you
RSV.
have, but you went back to
Oh,
the videos.
yeah.
if you
How
have.
many people would you
My
say?
2-week-old niece has RSV.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Some people don't get around as much.
Yeah.
She had one.
You get
Yeah, the
told
week
that
now.
came with the backup, but you don't.
I'm gonna be a pain if you
Yeah.
can bump me up on the agenda at all, because I gotta talk to you
Adults
about the
can't
Stray
catch
Haven
RSV, but
contract.
it's less than.
Okay.
Hi,
Hi.
Yearly.
and I've also gotta hit Richford's town board meeting by Zoom after this one.
So she, crowd control.
Mhm. Man, I didn't sleep good last night.
Where's your 2-week-old niece, Patty?
What's that?
Where's your 2-week-old niece?
Elmira?
Are they putting her in the hospital?
No, she's,
Home?
Are you on duty, Curtis?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
So you would have.
I am hungry, Bill.
so am I.
I came over at 5 for a different meeting.
I turned the crock pot on, but never plugged it in, so dinner was 2 hours late.
We're only a minute and 30 seconds off. We'll stand and do a little prayer here and then the pledge of allegiance. Lord, be with us today as we conduct the town's business. Guide us in making the right decisions. And we ask you in this Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anything for privilege of the floor right off the bat? If not, Denise, we'll move you right in.
I apologize for jumping ahead of other people, but eventually I did another town board meeting tonight as well. Did you get the Stray Haven new contract?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, they said they should be sending them out soon, but I would recommend getting with me to make sure the wording is correct in that beforehand. I had my ag mob review and she passed it, and she passed Stray Havens, but she said before our next contract, we need to get it corrected. I didn't know this, Stray Haven didn't know this. The problem is Stray Haven's not willing to budge on the stance, and what it is right now our dog redemption fees are $10 from the town, $50 from Stray Haven. And they can't be like that. Agma has said, and I called Agma up back to tell her that I tried working with Stray Haven like she recommended, and Stray Haven's not negotiable. And ultimately, it's your call if you want to increase them. Stray Haven wants to do $50 across the board for ease for all of the towns. In some situations, that doesn't even work. What AgMa says and what my recommendation is that we have to change the fee schedule to accommodate this. But right now, we have $10 a dog, and it has to be by owner, not by dog, by AgMa regulations. $10 for the minimum, $10 for the first redemption, $20 for the second, $30 for the third, and any thereafter. So for instance, if I pick up 2 of your dogs and we used to charge you $10 and $10, it would be $10 for the first dog, $20 for the second dog, because it's charged by owner, not by dog. And then it is supposed to be, once they leave our care after that 24 hours, $3 per day additional. And that is what the minimum requirements are for redeeming a dog. Which I recommended to Stray Haven, then we should go, that's the closest to what ours do, go with that redemption. And they said, no, they wanna do 50 across the board. The problem is, if they do 50, we have to do 50. We don't have an option. That, in my experience, is gonna prevent a lot of dogs from being redeemed.
What have we been paying now?
10.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and.
For the boarding and a 50 for the kennel redemption, according to our fees.
Yeah, and the $50 doesn't work in an instance, given the scenario too. Because you can always make it higher, you can't make it lower than the minimum standards. But even with the $50, if you have to give them a certified notice, like we did this past year on a couple of dogs, and I'm just going to use that as an example because I had picked up this gentleman's dog several times, so he would have been at the $30 fee. If he had went in and claimed them on day 8, because certified, you have a longer claim period if we have to send him a certified letter. Say, for instance, he picked them up on day 8, he should technically already be a 54, 57 for a day 9 and stuff. And that's already over the minimum 50. So that's why Agma was saying that wouldn't even work. And I had talked briefly with the town clerk on this too, because I'm not sure how it's going to come into play. I think my personal feeling, because otherwise Stray Haven's going to have to try, and every time somebody walks in the door, get a hold of them. But if they already have to come back here because 90% of them aren't licensed, I think the licensing and the redemption, and Agma was in agreement, should be handled directly by the towns. And then whether we give them a slip stating they're licensed and they're cleared for redemption or whatever, that it actually be handled at the town level, whether then they take the money and they send it back. And also, if they go by the 50, which wouldn't work like in the scenario I said though, it mandates us to do $50 per dog for when we redeem them. So if I pick up 2 of your dogs and it's just late night before I take them to Stray Haven, you have to pay me $100. And which a lot of people don't have $100, unfortunately, sitting in their pocket. $20 they can usually come up with. $100 it's also going to end up making us take more dogs down to the kennel and pay additional fees that way. So I had concerns on them, because it is written in the contract that they will attempt to collect the $50 redemption fee. I recommend that the redemption fee not be done by then. So,
And Stray Haven's our only option.
yes,
And they're saying, no, that's not negotiable.
they said that would be too hard to do, and Agma, even when I talked to the representative, and she even checked with the supervisor, and they asked a couple other areas how they do it, and they actually handle the redemption fees and licensing at the town. They don't, and that was one of the problems why, with the licensing, how it was being done, why they no longer are collecting licensing fees either. And they said it was really strange that they don't do the licensing, but they want to do the redemption.
So what you're saying, we can revamp our fees and make this work?
Well, we have to revamp them either way. I just don't want to increase them to what Stray Haven is trying to encourage or force us into doing. Because I asked the Agma rep, I said, so what happens if Stray Haven won't budge?
Yeah.
They said ultimately Stray Haven doesn't have a choice on that because they are sheltering the dogs, but the dogs remain the property of the town until the redemption period expires. So whatever the town board elects to do as a redemption fees, they have to do.
No matter what they bill us, they have to do what we do.
And they have to be in line with what we charge.
With our fees.
So I have concerns if you sign a contract that says $50,
Right.
if it's locking us into the 50, which is why I'm trying to get a hold of people before they sign the contracts.
Yeah, so as soon as I receive it in the mail, which is usually this month.
They
right?
said they were working on it, but the last, I just talked to the executive director, which was within the last week. She said that it would be too difficult for them to try and have every town schedule on the wall. Because no town is doing this right now, so it's not just us that have to change, and that's why they didn't cite us for it. Is every single town's doing it on right now, because we were letting Stray Haven do the 50. And then she was finding out that every town's charging different amounts. And that you can't, whatever your contracted shoulder redemption fee is, has to be, because it's not fair to the people to have to pay a different fee at one location and not at the other, if it's still technically under the town.
So we should all get together and put our fee schedule to be the same.
I know Berkshire already has, their planning board already put it in for next week's.
So they know what the numbers are gonna be?
It's exactly, they're gonna do what the minimum of the ag law is, which is what I recommend, which is a 10, 20, 30 stepping scale with $3 a day thereafter.
Okay. Well, we'll work on that. It's funny because we're gonna approve the fee schedule. The planning board has done some changes on it along with the code enforcement officer.
We can do that anyway.
But we can do that,
Yeah, we can approve.
yes, and we'll just do
We can
that
change it, We
later.
can approve it again later,
Okay,
change it.
all right. Well,
So
I'll get
that
a hold
$50
of you.
would, if we change it to $50 and we collected the $50, would that go to Stray Haven later?
No,
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 they would
because
have to
what
charge
happens
50.
right now is we're charged 150, and 50 of that they attempt to collect as a redemption fee and send it back.
Oh,
And that's how I ended up getting caught, is that they can collect $50 and send it back to us, because technically, either they can't be collecting that or we can't be accepting it, because our redemption fee can't be any different from what theirs is.
I
And
see.
honestly, I don't know if we've ever gotten a check from them for redemption fees. You wanna know the truth? I don't know how many have actually been done.
I was gonna say, well, actually, when they sent back the paperwork the last time, I was gonna say that I do know we had a dog redeemed from down there this year.
Yeah,
I
and I don't
think we
recall
got the
seeing it,
paperwork, but I never
and
heard
Gene
it.
hasn't mentioned it to me, so that,
Which could be why they don't.
and you don't
want to-
recall getting a $50.
Not 50, it was 20, I believe, that Denise gave me for a dog
But
redemption.
that's, yeah, because that's what I collected from the
Oh, okay.
people.
But
So
not from
that's what I'm
Stray Haven.
saying, so where, like,
No.
with that scenario, where they pay me 20 versus if I had told that woman, you gotta pay me 100, and she told me, I don't have the 100, that puts me in the spot where I'm mandated to take it to Stray Haven then. And then Stray Haven's going to charge us, where that one, we didn't have a bill as a town, because she was able to pay the 20 directly to us and have her dogs and got them licensed and done. So I have a fear that if we jump it up that drastically, that you're gonna have a lot of people around here that's not gonna have that much sitting in the pocket.
So when we
Me
get that, I'll contact you and we'll get together and a couple of the dog committee people can get with you and write it down and we'll work on it.
It's good that we caught it
I
before
know,
we
that's why
signed
I'm
it
trying
like
to do it
last
every-
year. Yeah.
Every board going, you know what, I was dragging my feet and waiting for them to work something out, and they're still standing strong.
Well, last year they snuck one in on us.
Yes, they did, exactly.
Yeah, and that's why I had a fear, that's why I was like, oh, and I know they said they were working on it, and it's almost first a year, and if they split it through again, then we end up with the same issue.
So we have received the report from Stray Haven and also your facility and everything was good there.
Yeah,
I
and that's
think-
what she said, was that
So I don't know, did Carol give that to you? Did you get a
We
copy?
did, yeah.
So, and then we'll just skip the dog report, but we will mention that we have received it and and everything was passed. I was gonna have Nancy do that, but,
That was the inspection report.
The one for Straight Haven and the one for my house.
Yeah.
so other than that, we have no other,
No, that was the only thing.
that's a big
I just
issue.
wanted to hit you to make sure that you didn't sign it, and then, because Richford's meeting same night as yours, I have to catch them by Zoom
Okay.
and go, don't sign yours.
All right, well, I appreciate that. All right,
I'm gonna hop out then.
Thanks.
yeah.
Thank you.
And other than that, it's just normal,
Just
normal business.
Crazy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, Curtis, you're on.
So we actually had our busiest month of the year last month. We had 73 calls. Average response time was 1 minute and 48 seconds. We had 9 of them out of our primary coverage area, mutual aid calls. We had 5 calls that were code 2 drop calls. None of them while we were on mutual aid calls. They were just, some days we had, actually one of them we had a code 3. So no matter what, we wouldn't have been able to cover it without 3 ambulances. So, as far as billing, billing is, we're actually to the point now that anything that we make in billing will be coming back to the town next year. So for how we figured that out, when we close out 2022, any more of the billing that we get this year will be reimbursed to the town for the surplus billing that we had. There's a sheet in your packet there. It's a multi-med profit and loss report. And that basically is with the net amount at the bottom is how much we've made so far after paying all the multi-med billing fees. So $175,000 was our max, and so far we're at $181,000. So, and that's without most of October, November, December. So, really good. I'm very pleased with the billing company. As far as billing goes, there is another sheet of paper in your stack. It's called the Schedule of Fees. This is the 2023 rates that have been approved by the billing agency and requested for approval here. They've been approved by the board of directors at the squad, so I just need your guys' approval. These are slightly more aggressive billing rates. The reason for that is we're trying to figure out a way so we don't have to send a bill to the taxpayers. So, last year we saved the squad, and now we're trying to figure out a way that if you're paying the taxes for the ambulance, you won't get an additional bill from the ambulance.
Well, that there was only for the copay, correct?
For the copay, yep. We'll still send the bill to the insurance company for insurance reimbursement. But this is how we're hoping to try and do that. One more year of billing, we should have good numbers for that. We should be able to reassess that at the end of 2023, but this is the amounts that the billing companies are asking us to go to. This is actually below the New York State average slightly. There's other agencies that are billing much more aggressively, but they don't think that we need to.
Do you have it written down what we're actually paying now? Or what you're billing
Yeah,
now?
now folder. Everything went up by about $400 to $500.
Okay.
So ALS level 2, I believe, was 1,900. ALS level 1 was around 16. BLS was 12. Mileage actually went up a lot. We were actually only paying $23 per mile, but because of the new Medicare description of what we call super rural, we actually qualified for a super rural mileage rate. So that's why that went up significantly to $40 per mile. But yeah, so everything.
Which is fine, and you bill the insurance for that.
Yeah, that's all for the insurance. So the biggest thing that we need to remember is that this fees does not change co-pays, does not change out-of-pocket stuff for the taxpayers, and we have implemented the financial hardship for all of the taxpayers that can take advantage of that program. So if there's somebody who can't pay the co-pay or something like that, they need to just get a hold of me and say, hey, I can't afford this. And there's a whole piece of paper they fill out and it gets sent to the billing agency, and we can work with them with that. So, but this just goes for the insurances. So this is where we try and get more money from the insurance departments.
So what happens if someone doesn't have insurance?
They get sent a bill, just like anybody else would. A lot of times it gets sent with like a Medicaid application. A lot of people would qualify for, you know, the Medicaid or Medicare. So they actually have advocates that work for the billing company that help people with that too. So
Does that generally work out?
sometimes we don't get anything from it. You know, it just depends on the person and how aggressive they are to actually fix the problem. But there's some people who just don't. It's one of the nature of the businesses. But so I'm looking for your guys' approval for this. Like I said, this is what the billing company came out with for us. As far as anything else goes, we received a grant from Tioga Downs for $9,000. This will go to finish the heat system repairs in the garage, as well as the sleeping quarters for the staff. And I just got word today that we received a grant. You wrote it in the minutes from last month. We got the Zoll grant for training supplies. They're actually donating an entire training monitor to the program, which is like a $30,000 monitor donation, which is pretty impressive. And that's all going to be for the junior program training equipment. So we're really excited about that. So.
Curtis?
If you need, I'm sorry,
No, you go ahead.
if you need this approved by us, should this be in the contract?
That's actually the addendum that goes in the contract. Every
Did we
year they
already
just
approve
give.
that?
We
You
approved the
approve the
contract.
contract, but they sent this month.
So these numbers aren't in the contract.
No, the ones he mentioned
What's,
were,
So what do we do, revise the contract and add this to it?
that's a good question.
Or does the contract state with current schedule fees by the insurance?
That's what it says, is whatever you just change out the last page. Of what
Okay,
the
And
schedule
and
is.
it says that all through the contract, look at the fee schedule on the back.
Okay, so just part of a fee
So
schedule.
it's like a fee schedule, just like we're doing.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
How many calls did you say they were? Because we only got page one. So it only went to 37.
Yeah.
You said.
I apologize.
You said
I'm gonna fire my
7.
secretary.
Which is you?
It's me. We had 73 calls.
73 calls, okay.
Yeah.
You're just making sure we're reading these reports.
Yeah, 73 calls, and if you didn't see it, there were 54 of them that turned into a billable call.
Good.
All in all, pretty good year.
Somebody want to make a motion to accept the billing fee schedule for the
I'll
EMS?
make a motion that we accept the billing fee schedule provided by our billing company.
I'll second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
We don't need individual.
No, because we're not spending money on it.
Right.
Okay, okay, we got all in favor, opposed? Okay, there you go, Curtis.
Anything else for me?
Enjoy your dinner.
Thank you.
See
Have a
you
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Minutes from November 8th meeting.
I move we approve the minutes of November 8th.
My question is, do we do them separately for the public hearing, or we just approve both of them?
You approve everything at once.
I hope that would work.
Yeah,
Okay,
because this is the clerk's interpretation of it.
got a motion to accept the minutes?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None.
Recuse, I was absent.
Who's that?
I was absent.
So was I. Yeah, I apologize for that. That was a last minute sickness I had there last hour or so. Financial report. The supervisor, the vouchers have been signed. Any questions on them? If not, somebody make a motion to accept them.
I move we approve the vouchers.
Second.
Reichert,
Aye.
Douglas,
Aye.
Strozel,
Aye,
Raider,
Aye.
Evans,
okay. Do have some budget transfer that time of year. This page here, we're taking $78,000 from sales tax revenue in the DB account and health insurance deductible. We're taking some money out of that and transferring it over to cover the overage for the chips of 75,000. Health insurance, 6,000. And under general repairs of 3,000 for a total of $84,000.
I'll make a motion that we approve those transfers.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the other one from the A, we're taking $2,500 from the deputy court clerk and from the contingency, $7,742 for a total of $10,242. It's going into the court clerk, $2,500. The town board for $750. The town clerk of $3,342. Building equipment, we need $3,500 for that. And under dog control, looks like we need $150 for a total of $10,242.
I'll move we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. I did receive the town clerk's report and approved that. I have nothing else under the financial report now. So, no questions. We'll move on to the assessor.
I have no report from Denise.
That'll move along here. Buildings and grounds.
I gave everybody a copy of a couple of quotes I got for LED signs, and they're all over the board. And basically, all I want to do with this was come up with some specs to put it out to bid. But I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what's the prices are going to be. And I think we're probably going to end up, it's going to be more than the $6,000 one, because all that is basic sign.
Smart, yeah.
There's nothing else to it, just basically the modules.
Oh,
But anyway, so we're starting on it.
Do we know who did the install over at the fire department? One.
No.
Find out from Steve Baker and see if they can give us
Yeah.
they did a really nice job over there.
Yeah, well, when we get the specs all out, we
Yep,
can
we
make
can
sure
get
it
some
gets to,
information.
goes to those types of people.
And I noticed the size of the sign is quite different.
Quite-
Yeah,
So are we looking for some, Particular-
something closer to the smaller one.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, we don't want anything huge out there. That
No.
one is way too big,
The next, yeah.
yeah, it's 4x6, that's
Yeah.
way too big. So, yeah.
Do we know what our current, I mean, I know it's not an LED, but do we know the size of our current?
Oh, it's not even, I don't
2
know,
by
probably
4.
2x3 maybe.
Yeah.
It's not very big. I was thinking 2x4 and then maybe a lit sign that says Town of Candor on top of that. So, one that goes on and off.
One that will rotate our meeting hours and days, and then like farmer's market, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
plus one that's lit most of the time that says Town of Candor above that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Just,
Well, hopefully we can find something that we can get.
yeah, well, I'll run by the final specs from everybody, so if anybody has any input, we can change things. That's all I have.
Okay, under buildings and grounds, as you can see on the agenda there, you guys purchased a snow blower when I was gone. And when I come back, we had to purchase a refrigerator. So to get rid of the other ones, we need to get them off our inventory. So if somebody would like to declare them surplus,
I make a motion that we declare the snow blower and refrigerator surplus.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good. Okay, nothing else. We'll move on to the code.
Not much to report. You have his, these permits that we only did like 5 permits. So things are slowing down for him.
Did he give you the to-date numbers?
He did,
Because they were pretty impressive.
yeah. 72 permits issued. $8,975 in permit fees. And the projects that he gave permits to were $11,853,867.27.
That's taxable.
Yes, that increases our,
Some solar
Tax
fields and
base.
stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So now, I don't think I have anything else under code that we need to discuss. Justice,
I don't have anything.
I have something under justice is we really need to advertise for a deputy court clerk. I'm just very concerned that Lynn has no backup. And spoke to Mary Monday. She came in and she agrees that we should. She thought she had somebody lined up and it didn't pan out. So now she says it's time to advertise.
so maybe we should put a ad in the paper for it?
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Yeah, we have something written.
I
up already.
asked Lynn if she could get us like a job description that Carol could have available if anybody called in with, or if it would go
Actually,
to Mary.
Actually, it should go to Mary.
Okay,
Because it's her position to,
to Phil.
right, and appoint and ask us to approve it.
Okay.
So that's what we'll do. We'll get with them and work that out.
Okay, good.
Okay. Nothing on cemeteries.
No, no, I needed.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because that one time I asked you guys that because the guy asked me and I didn't hear from either one of you, so I said, must be we're gonna let him go.
Yeah, I didn't, you were gonna send me a list.
I actually had that list here and I was gonna give it to you when you left, but you went out the door too fast.
So
Well, I didn't
Yeah.
get to it.
Angie did email you and I a week ago. Tioga County has a list of all of the cemeteries within each town.
Oh, by town.
And I opened it, I clicked on the link, did work, and it did bring up all the addresses, locations, everything of our
I
cemeteries.
didn't get that. I mean, I probably got it. I didn't look at that email.
Yeah,
Well, maybe Angie doesn't have, the
one I
email that you
usually
use.
Yeah, I'll let her know.
okay,
Because I had that on the wall there. I was gonna make a copy of it 2 months ago to give it to you. I think it was 2 or 3.
Okay, well, I think.
Whatever.
I
But
think-
anyway, it is what it is now and then
That's
we'll
right.
have to deal with it in the spring.
I was surprised, it was a nice website.
Okay, we'll move on to the highway.
We received our loader, that's at the shop. 10-wheel truck is at the paint shop. Basically, make a long story short, I'm hoping by the end of next week. The low boys in Florida, it's done. They're waiting for somebody to go out and pick it up, transport it up, or whatever they're gonna do with it.
That's exciting.
who takes care of that? I mean, can we send somebody down or is that part of the,
That's part of
Fee.
the deal.
okay, all right.
I
Because
mean,
I know we have a local Keith Jastrzemski
Yeah.
guy.
I don't know how that would work, Patty. I could ask him. I mean,
If it would be quicker,
I don't know if he'd wanna drive all the way down there with no load.
that's true. Yeah.
You know, that's a long ways.
I don't know if he has a tractor trailer hookup anyway.
Yeah, he does.
He does?
He's
puts
got
on-
a great big thing now.
Oh, nice.
And the pickup, I guess the easiest way, Bill can attest to this, he was on the phone with him, is somewhere. I mean, I don't know how else to explain
It's
that.
being built or it's supposed
Yeah,
to.
I mean,
It's
it's
gotta-
got a VIN number. I don't know what,
It's got a VIN number, but it isn't built
yeah,
yet.
I mean, whatever good that does us. So
Yeah, I don't know the process of doing that, but it's
I don't understand
it's
it.
moving from the way he explained it.
That's an OGS?
Yeah, it's the mini bid,
Okay.
the, whatever it is, they're the primary contractor for mini bid. OGS is all different than what it used to be. You know, it's really strange. Everything is Sourcewell or mini bid. And OGS doesn't get involved in a lot of it anymore. Quote unquote, they're too busy. I'll just keep my opinions to myself on it. Other than that, I mean, we're in winter mode, so.
Yes, we are.
So do I understand you took care of the road that they were complaining about last meeting?
We went up and just, I looked at it, we rolled it in a little bit better, and there's not a lot. I mean, it's, you know, it needs a total rebuild, Bill.
And you're
as
gonna
you know, we
do
talked
it next year then?
Yeah.
Number one priority, he told them.
Okay.
We hauled in a bunch of salt or sand, had some salt brought in, and of course, after probably, I'm guessing, the next round, we'll have to bring some more sand in. Usual business as usual this time of year. So that's where we're at.
I know I forwarded Bill, there was something about, for pre-order, I think it was a 2024 truck. We were like $1,000 down or something, I don't know.
And that, because we're a customer, they're not worried about it.
Okay.
Actually, that truck is ordered.
It is
Good,
ordered.
good.
And you want me to, I mean, should I have that conversation with everybody that the three of us had today? And here's the crazy part. You know, we're talking about trucks out 24, 25, and 26. I mean, this is unprecedented. I looked at I was talking with Bill and Patty today, and I looked at them, I said, you know, the three of us sitting here talking about these trucks, I said, theoretically, we could all be gone by then. You know, this is the dilemma that town boards are gonna have to face and highway superintendents are gonna face. We're ordering trucks for town board members that may not even know they wanna be town board members yet.
Excuse me.
It's, the times have changed dramatically. You know, we're ordering trucks that we have no idea what the price tags are gonna be. You know, but you've gotta get on that list. If you don't get on the list, it's, you know.
It's almost a monopoly.
You
Almost.
know, and Bill and I both said it, you know, 3 years ago, if you'd have told me this, I'd have laughed. I said, you know, there's no way.
Of course.
You know, so it's just, for me, it's concerning.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're making decisions that are, for all due purposes, 3 to 4 years old, you know?
Because that's how long it's gonna take to get them.
Yeah. You know, so I hope someday down the road, somebody says that we made a good decision or it was a really bad decision, and I'll raise my hand because I don't think there's another option out there right now. I really don't.
Are these delays partly because of circuit boards not being available? I mean, is there a particular,
You can hear every excuse under the world. You know, there's chip shortages, there's supply shortages. You know, tomorrow
Well,
there'll
it
be a
started
tire
out their
shortage.
strike, remember?
Yeah, you know, they go on strike, there's, you know, I've heard everything. It's,
I was partly thinking of this new chip factory that's being built in Syracuse, I think.
Huh.
What is it?
It's,
Yeah, it is Syracuse. It's not for vehicles though.
but I thought that was for, Well, I thought it was things like chips and stuff,
It is chips, but
so that we don't have to rely on.
I don't believe.
Computer
it's-
probably.
It's
Well,
something,
sure.
yeah, but that's years and years and years down the road before they can even start. They have to build the buildings.
Yes,
and-
They're saying the one in Arizona is gonna
Yeah.
alleviate that problem for the
Yeah.
automobile.
Oh, that
Right,
one's more.
That
towards
was
the automobile.
automobile, the
Yeah.
one. in
After they said that,
Syracuse.
they also said it'll be 3 to 4 years
Okay,
before they see any
alright.
products,
Yeah.
so.
So
They're
is,
saying 7 to 10.
I
years
take
for
it
Syracuse.
this isn't just Volvo,
No,
it's
it's everything.
any truck?
And it's harder for us because ours are a little more specialized. They're not a cookie cutter type, because townships want a little bit heavier, cooling system. That's, it's, I don't know, I've heard everything, I've talked to other highway superintendents. We had a meeting last month and, they're all saying the same thing. International, Western Star, they're 24, 25, before you can even think about getting one.
And unfortunately, ours are all getting older at the same time.
And
Because
we
it-
are, believe it or not, we're in better shape than some people.
Okay.
There's, I really feel for town of Windsor. They had their fire last year.
Yeah.
And they bought used trucks, crossing their fingers and hoping that they make them, last for 2 or 3 years, because that's where they're at.
Mhm.
God forbid, I pity anybody that loses a truck nowadays,
Okay, well, thanks, Kevin. We already did the dog control. We already did the EMS. I don't think there's anything else on the EMS to it, is there, Patty?
No.
Patty, do I go to the next meeting?
Yep, you're up next Tuesday.
Okay.
Planning board. So on the planning board, as you know, they were looking for a member on the planning board. I got an email from the planning board chairman, and they recommended Susan Evans. They had one other one, and they just couldn't see eye to eye, so she decided that they would go with Susan. So what we'll do is we can approve her this now, I guess, but in the organizational meeting starting in January, we can put her on then. I don't know how that really goes because they don't have a meeting now till, well, that day. Our organizational meeting, and the planning board will have a meeting then.
Well, actually, didn't she say she was gonna cancel it if we were
Oh, that's
doing
right.
our
She did say that.
organizational meeting?
She did say they're just gonna cancel that, so we can approve it then. when we
We'll appoint her then.
Yep, through the
Do
organizational meeting.
we get any information about her? Does it matter?
We just go by the planning board's recommendation. There's people that have to work with her. You
And
can ask that.
I think we have seen
Just
applications
yeah.
for it.
I don't know if I should.
other than that, that's all I got on that, but then we move down to the Board of Appeals. So what that does by Susan leaving the Board of Appeals, and they already lost Rob Holland, and they were looking to replace him at one time, or which they were, and now they're gonna lose her. So now they're down to 3, which is probably not a bad thing, but if she can find, as in Norma, can find 2 people to move in there, we don't have a problem having 5 members on the Board of Appeals.
No,
Right?
I think, yeah,
Yeah, we talked about leaving it 3, but that just cuts it too short if one can't make it.
yeah, people get sick,
Yes.
things happen.
So we should strongly recommend her to try and find 2 people.
Yes.
But I just wanted to let you know where that's at.
And since my name is down here for the Board of Appeals report, what information should,
They haven't had any meetings
No.
because there's nothing,
there's been
No
no.
grievances.
right?
They-
Right.
They
That's
do,
the last I
well,
heard.
they do meet, but they do trainings and they look over our laws as part of it, but they only meet if there's a variance
Yeah, okay, request.
request, so, like a true.
Any other questions? No? Okay, well,
Throwing pens over here.
we'll move on down to old business. On the handicap front door, as you see, we finally got a second bid for that. And the first one, which was Imperial Doors, which I'm not quite sure if that will still be good, because when we received this one,
July.
July.
yeah, July 5th, was $6,800. And the one we received this week from IDN Hardware Sales, that one is $59,5112.
Imperial is only valid for 30 days.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying I don't know if that's gonna, I can't picture it going down that far.
No,
Going down? No.
So,
anything up.
But I have a real issue with this IDN that it took them 5 months to get us a quote, and that kind of makes me doubt them coming and doing the work in a satisfactory time.
I don't know when they would do it. It doesn't say, but I can call them and
Well,
ask them if
this
you,
one said, the Imperial one said 6 to 8 weeks from date of approval to proceed with order.
that's probably because they gotta get the equipment.
Uh-huh.
Plus, we got to get some wiring done anyway.
Yes,
Yeah,
for either
Price
vendor
doesn't
wants
include-
some pre-electrical work done.
Price does not include the electrical or the system configuration.
Yeah, which, actually, I don't know if Josh Whitmore would run a wire out there for that 120 out there, and we could ask him to do that, because we
Yeah,
don't
put
have,
it on conduit, it's going to be exposed. You're putting it on
I believe it'll be on the wall on both sides, because it has to be plugged in up above the door.
but what about the one outside the button?
That was.
That hardwired
yeah.
too, isn't it?
Well, that wire will go down the pole to the button to do it, but to make it operate will be up above the door in the breezeway.
Yeah,
To
but you're going to
open
have to
that
run
door.
conduit on the exterior to protect the wires and stuff.
If he does it down the outside of the pole, I don't know if he can get it down to that. If that's just a cover, a plastic cover around a concrete pillar, maybe you can get the wire down to. I don't know how, I'd have to look, they'd have to look and see, but yeah, we'd probably have to do that.
Yeah.
Do the conduit if it has to be exposed on the outside.
So you need somebody that's good at bending steel.
Yeah,
Has the tools.
well, you guys decide what you want to do. There's the numbers. We finally got 2 bids, so.
Well, I say go with the inexpensive one, 59, and it's almost $1,000. And they're pretty much the same.
So the Imperial, people responded more quickly, that's what you're saying, Patty.
Yeah,
And they're in New York.
The guy I talked to was out of Newfield for this,
real local then.
And the other one.
but I don't know if it's equipment. His equipment might have to come some other place, but as a distributor for that company, I think he was in Newfield.
So,
Yeah,
The
they're
other
shipping it
one-
to Syracuse, so they must have the office in Syracuse or something.
and then we have to pick it up and say,
No,
No, they pick it up and install it.
they'll bring it.
well, why does it say customer pickup?
Yeah, it does say customer pickup on the IDN. Customer pickup out of Syracuse.
Yeah.
Also, my concern,
Yeah, I don't like that.
I can talk to him and ask, why do we have to come out and pick it up? You're coming down here to install it. Why don't you put it in your pickup truck and bring it down here?
Well, then it says freight may be applied.
the Imperial quote also mentions 4 push button switches with the logo, 4 remote switch transmitters, while IDN only mentions 2. I'm a little confused. confused why they need 4, but there may be a reason.
Well, maybe,
The doors,
Go on.
because there's
Each
2
door.
doors.
Right,
yeah.
one for each door.
So, and I don't know if this one's gonna operate, so both of those will work in conjunction.
Probably not.
Typically with those
Yes, that's
systems, it's
easy.
only one,
Yes,
only one door opens. But I don't know the width of the door, is one suitable to
Yeah,
get
they're
the
3-foot
wheelchair
doors.
through?
They're 3-foot doors.
Okay, so that's good.
Well, if you want, I mean, we waited this
Yeah.
long, I can call these people and get some more information. 'Cause I just got this today. Or yesterday.
Yeah, why don't you do that? I don't see them installing it in this weather anyway.
Good point.
No.
Right.
All right, I'll get some more information from him.
Make your office awful
That'll give me
cold,
some
Carol.
time to get information about
That'd make
grants
your
as
office
well
awful
for-
cold.
For ADA.
Yeah.
So you got the other door.
Lines. Which I did email Lane Jardine to see if the county grant writer has any suggestions.
Nice. Okay, so the next thing is the fee schedule. These fees that were changed, the 2 code gentlemen got together and sent their recommendations over to the planning board, and the planning board reviewed it and accepted it.
Most of them.
Yeah, they did a good job.
The only one thing that the planning board did have a little question on and was the generator. They moved that under the residential part. Jim,
Yeah, and they highlighted it as well,
Yeah,
which is good. I think that's where
I
it was
think
before.
at one time it was up under. maybe-
No, it was under the residential.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, you have the old one there?
yeah, I've got the old one that we had our markups on that I marked up. And they got rid of the foil fee, which was illegal anyway.
You can't charge for that, right?
Well, 25 cents a copy, but not $25 per request, which is what it was.
Oh.
We never charged it.
Is there any more questions on this?
No, I approve well, do we have to approve it? I do.
Yeah.
We have to.
I make a motion to approve the fee schedule changes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Okay. New business. As you can see on the agenda, approve the bookkeeper to make any budget transfers to close the end of the year books, which we do every year.
that, probably the word regional shouldn't be on there, should it? I have no idea why that's there.
No, me either.
It's a regional thing.
Yeah. It's just in our area. So if somebody can make a motion to allow Jean to make any budget transfers to close her books at the end of the year.
I so move.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Signing of the vouchers at the end of the year, July 29th, or December 29th.
It's a different calendar.
She will have the vouchers ready by noon, all the end of the year bills, and would like to have any 2, 3, are you 3 or 4 to come in sometime between noon and 2.
Will you be available? The workers, the non-retirees?
I should be available.
Okay. Okay.
We
Well,
just
we have
drop
3
by
anyway.
and
Just
have-
drop by.
Stop between noon and.
Yep, and they'll be standing in a pile there, you just approve them, sign them, initial.
was
Okay,
gonna be installing flooring at that time, so I can take a break.
good.
Have your-
It'll be good on your knees and all that.
It's your
Oh, I'm
lunch time.
sorry, the flooring will already be installed, it's after Christmas.
Okay. I'm gonna set the organizational meeting for January 3rd, which is the first Tuesday. I didn't put a time down, 'cause I thought I'd check with you folks. I believe we have done them earlier than 7 in the past. I think we've done it like 6:30.
Yeah, we have.
Is it anybody, or if that works out to do it sooner than that, I don't care if you want it.
If everybody can come in at 6, that'd be great.
I think 6
I
works.
prefer
I
earlier.
prefer earlier.
Five,
You prefer 5?
I
5,
would.
that's good.
The
Because
first,
it only takes about
Tuesday. Yeah, I'm
20
good on
minutes
Tuesdays.
to go through the organizational meeting.
all right, 5 PM works then. Are you all right with 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. That's okay.
Just because I said that earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the third.
Okay.
Well, that's all I have on the agenda. Anybody have any questions? If not, we'd like to go into executive session to discuss employees' status at working for us.
Okay.
Yep.
Adjourn this meeting?
Yeah.
You didn't have any questions for Rob regarding,
We don't adjourn the meeting.
Already took care of it.
We'll do that
Okay.
when we're done.
thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
You don't have to be here, no.